See what I'm doing here. I have the serpentine belt off. I'm checking the bearings and all the idler pulleys on the engine because nothing worse getting a call from a driver somewhere that the serpentine belt's broke. These belts don't break anymore. Something stopped turning for it to break. And I want to tell you something. If you own a truck or your fleet, this is more for a fleet setting. We replaced the bearings in them, but here's an important note. It might be a 6303 bearing in there with some digits after. Those digits after that 6303 mean so much, because if you just go and get any regular 6303 bearing and put in that pulley, it's probably only going to last a month because it's probably not a high-speed, high-grease bearing, high-speed grease bearing, okay? And that does mean so much, and I've been there and done that, okay? And it's typically, it don't take long once you got the tensioner off to pop a new bearing in there. So it is cost effective in a fleet setting because the bearings aren't typically that much money. The tensioners are. And then you can get the aftermarket Dayco ones that look just like the OEM ones. They are not the same, and they do not last near as long. Okay, and they're about half the price. Well, there's a reason for that. So always replace the bearing if you do so with the direct cross to the OEM bearing, because you might be you know, when these bearings pile up, they can make a mess. You might be into a rad, and if it's a truck like this, it's got a shaft going through the rad. That's a $5,000 rad, okay, an OEM if you paid for the OEM. So I check these regularly because that can really ruin your day for a $20 bearing, right? So I typically do that part of a PM schedule, okay? So cheers, do a good job.